because it can make the ball really unpredictable, making it really hard for your opponents to defend against your shot. It's far from easy though, so like all my other tutorial videos, I'll try and keep this relatively short and just cover some of the major do's and don'ts so you guys can get into it and start practicing on your own right away. For starters, let's talk about the 3 things that you need to do to make sure that you start your air dribble properly. Number 1, you need to make sure that you roll the ball along the ground towards the wall and not bounce it. If it's bouncing when it reaches the wall, it's going to pop off and make it much harder to control. Second, you need to approach the ball at a slight angle facing towards your opponent's net. This allows you to tap the ball upwards and towards your opponent's net so that it's already headed in that direction when you start your air dribble. The third and final most important thing for starting an air dribble from the wall is that you need to make sure that you're matching the speed of the ball as it's rolling up the wall. If you drive too fast, you're going to hit the ball too hard and kick it away from yourself, and you won't be able to catch up to it and control it properly. Now that you've started your air dribble, we need to talk about where you hit the ball in order to maintain it. Imagine the ball is split up into imaginary fourths. You need to hit the lower fourth that's closest to your car. You also need to make sure that you're applying force in the upwards and forwards direction towards your opponent's net. This allows you to keep the ball lofted so you can carry it through the air. You can practice this by going in the free play, chipping the ball up, double jumping, boosting, and trying to balance it on your nose as you carry it into the net. This allows you to practice this balancing technique without having to worry about getting the proper setup off the wall, which, let's face it, is a challenge in and of itself, so do this often. Now that you know how to properly tap the ball off of the wall, as well as balance it on your car's nose while it's in the air, you just have to combine these 2 techniques for a full-fledged air dribble. Of course, it's a little bit easier said than done, so here are some additional pointers for helping make sure that you guys are successful. In regards to boosting, you need to make sure that you're feathering your boost in the air. Only use your boost to maintain contact with the ball. You want to make sure that you're matching the speed of the ball at all times. If you go too fast, you'll probably hit the ball too powerfully and kick it away from yourself. If you don't boost enough, the ball will still get away from you and you won't be able to maintain contact. So, in short, just use your boost to maintain the same speed as the ball and do your best to keep it lofted. If you accidentally hit the ball too far away from yourself, don't panic, just spend a little bit more boost to speed up and catch up with the ball. But then after that point, only use it again to maintain pace with the ball. Another very important thing I want to remind people of is that air roll is your friend when it comes to air dribbles from the wall. I actually physically cringe whenever I see someone go for an air dribble and not air roll at all. Do yourself a favor, and after you take your first touch, just do a slight air roll so that your wheels are facing the ground and your car is flying right side up. This will feel a lot more natural for most people. However, beyond this, you are going to want to learn how to perfect even more advanced air roll techniques so that you're always able to maintain contact with that bottom fourth portion of the ball like I talked about earlier in the video. Sometimes you'll take off from the wall and it won't be a perfect takeoff. You need to be able to air roll so that you can fly yourself back behind the ball in the proper location. It's simply a lot harder to do if you aren't air rolling at all, so take some time in free play to learn how to do this. Plus, let's face it, it just looks cool. Now that we've talked about the major do's in air dribbles, let's talk about the major don'ts so that you don't actually screw yourself up. One of the big things not to do is touch the ball with the bottom of your car. Watch this clip, especially when it goes in the slow motion, and you'll see that when I accidentally touch the ball with the bottom of my car, the ball actually pushes my car away. This is a very fast way to lose control of the ball, so just avoid touching it with the bottom of your car at all costs. The next thing that you want to avoid doing is getting in front of the ball when you're trying to air dribble. This can often happen if you cut the ball a little bit too sharp when you try and touch it off the ball. If you get in front of the ball, pretty much all hope is lost unless you're really fancy and can find a way to boost in the opposite direction so that you slow yourself down and can work your way behind the ball again. But that is probably not a realistic expectation in most scenarios. So do your best to just match the speed of the ball as it's rolling up the wall. Don't cut it too hard when you angle yourself on the wall, and you should be fine. And the final couple ways to fail fish immediately at an air dribble. One is if you tap the ball towards your opponent's net, but you don't actually cut in towards the net either, and you'll just fly high above the ball. You can't really carry it from up above, so that's not going to work. And the other thing is touching the ball too many times. Sometimes you just got to stop touching it and let it drop below the crossbar. If you really love your air dribble, set it free. Don't stuff yourself in the crossbar, you look like an idiot. Alright guys, I hope that this tutorial video was helpful for you. If it was, be sure to leave a like as well as a comment and subscribe for more tutorial videos from me here on this Rocket League channel. I encourage you guys to get out there and start practicing air dribbles. They're not quite that easy to do, especially in a real game, but they're very worthwhile because it makes it very difficult for your opponent to know when to challenge the ball properly. Sometimes they decide to make a challenge and you're able to put that last touch on the ball to tap it past them, and that can make all the difference between securing a game or losing a game. I encourage you guys to come follow me on Twitter for things like giveaways and just chat with me, as well as follow me on Twitch for Rocket League live streams. Links for all that stuff are in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.